Okay, guys, we're up to chapter 23 of Lemons, which is titled A New Life. After lunch at Mrs. Dickerson's, I head back to town. My stomach's full and my eyes are heavy after being up so late the night before. When I reach the library, I see the Blue House, 1808, Nick French's house. There are kids running and hiding in the bushes. They're laughing, they're playing, they're having fun. Like they have no worries in their life at all. No lava, no quicksand, no heavy loads to carry. I keep walking, watching out of the corner of my eye, and there are two girls pointing toward me and whispering. Some boys poke elbows at each other and they laugh at me, and I pick up the pace. Hey, someone called. San Fran! It's Buzzcut. You playing? He asks. I stop in front of the driveway and everyone's watching me now, and they're waiting for an answer. I don't give them one. Come on, a cute boy calls out to me. We don't bite. And everybody starts to laugh, and I do too. He's even cuter than Craig Lundgren at Sherman Elementary. He has brown eyes and a wide smile stuck smack dab in the middle of two deep dimples on each cheek. Then they all stand there looking at me, waiting for my answer. That's Jorge, Buzzcut tells me, pointing to the cute boy. We just call him J-Man. And that's Eliza Rose and May Cunningham and Nick French. And you know Bo. He points a thumb at the kid with the bangs. I look down the street toward Charlie House. It would be a lot easier to hide under the rainbow comforter with my book than to say stay or go back to Manning, the Bigfoot headquarters, where I'm supposed to be. I look at the girls again. They're still whispering about me. I wonder what they're saying. I think about my friends back home and how much I miss them. Melanie, Lisa S., Angela K., and Shelley H. They were all so much fun. And so was I before. I think about what Mrs. Dickerson said about accepting change. I think about the zesty girl in the round frame from the hall and about what it used to mean to be lemonade. Elizabeth Lily Witt. Well, Buzzcut says, are you just going to stand there all day or are you playing? All right, I say, feeling a sudden pain in my stomach and wondering if it's appendicitis. I'll play. Cool, he says. I take a step toward the driveway. One step toward my new life. On my way home, I try to remember the names of all the kids I met. Eliza Rose Klein, she's going into fourth grade, and her cat just had kittens, and she said I could have one. Charlie says it's okay. May Cunningham is going into fifth grade like me. She's adopted from China, and she knows how to speak English and Chinese. Jorge Santa Maria may just be the cutest boy on the planet, and I found out when we were both hiding behind a pine tree that he loves Twinkies too. And he agrees that they are better than ho-hos, ding-dongs, or even banana flips. Nick French is real quiet and turns out the color of maraschino cherries whenever May's around him, because he sent her a note asking if she wants to be his girlfriend, and May said yes. And now they don't even talk or look at each other. I also found out Buzzcut's real name is Joe Kelly, and Bang's name is Bo Stitch. All in all, it was a real fun day. Kick the Can is a kind of like a tag with a twist. The twist being that there isn't a can at all. The can is technically a dirty orange Nerf football, but to call it Kick the Dirty Orange Nerf football sounds kind of lame, I guess. I've never played kick anything before, but I liked it. In the city, we roller skated, we played hopscotch on the sidewalk, or we jumped rope, and in the evening, sometimes the boys on Beacon would let us play baseball with them in the alley. Jimmy Libertine always let me be catcher, even though I missed the ball before. Erica Voss said it's because he was in love with me, but maybe he was, because one time he gave me a whole bouquet of Tootsie Pops. If Tootsie Pops equal love, I guess he loves me a whole bunch because he gave me a full dozen. And they were all cherry, which everyone knows is the best flavor of Tootsie Pops there is. Where have you been? Tobin hollers at me from Charlie's front porch. He's pacing back and forth with a yellow legal pad tucked under his arm and pencil behind his ear. I start. It didn't occur to me that I needed to keep my afternoon secret. I mean, it's not like I'm not allowed to play with other kids, but for some reason, right this minute, I can't make my mouth say those words. I was having tea and cookies with Mrs. Dickerson, I tell him, which isn't exactly a lie. Has she reported other sighting? He asks, sitting down. No, I say, making my way up the driveway. I just wanted to hear some more stories about my mama. I counted you to be in charge of the Bigfoot headquarters, and you leave for the day? What's the big deal? The big deal is I trusted you to be in charge for the very first time, and you went and had tea and cookies instead. That's the big deal. But I guess that doesn't matter to you. Nothing matters to you. What's that supposed to mean? Nothing. Where's Charlie? I asked. He's already inside starting dinner, because you weren't here for that either. Lemonade, Charlie calls through the screen door. Is that you? Yeah, Charlie, I call back. Miss Cotton, she's on the phone for you. Tobin's brow lowers and his eyes stare at me hard. What's with you? I ask. Nothing. He gets up off the swing and makes his way down the steps. Where are you going? I ask him. He doesn't say a word. I watch him cross the street, walk up his driveway, and pull open the screen door, and it slams behind him. That night after dinner, after my Irish Spring bath, I find Charlie in the living room and he's watching Barnaby Jones. Charlie? Yeah? He gets up from the couch with the big leaves on it and he turns the volume down. I have a question for you. He sits back down and he pats a leaf next to him, like I'm supposed to sit there. Well, let's hear it, he says. I decide to slide one hip down in a different leaf in the matching chair across the room. Where's Tobin's dad? I ask. Charlie breathes out a long, slow breath. He folds his glasses and he puts them in his shirt pocket. Lem, Scotty was drafted to go to Vietnam. Goodness, it was about 5 or 6 years ago now. And well, he never came back home. Did he die? Charlie shakes his head. We don't know. Two military men came to the house about a year after he went in and told Debbie he was MIA, which means missing in action. I think at that time we all held out hope he was still alive, but it became harder with each passing year. So you think he died then? Well, we feared the case, and then Debbie got a call last year from the Army letting her know he was found. He's alive? He was a prisoner of war for many years, 3 total. That's a long time to live like that. The prisoners were tortured in horrific ways. Debbie was told that Scotty was found and that he would be transported back to Oakland for a debriefing and then discharged home. They told her he was okay, but she didn't know exactly what condition he was in after all he'd gone through. So is he still in Oakland? We don't know. I drop my chin in my hand and sigh. I guess I don't understand. Well, Debbie received a letter from Scotty when he made it back to California, letting her know how much he loved her and that he couldn't wait to get home to see her in Tobin. And then he was gone. What do you mean gone? Where did he go? What we know is that he was discharged from the Army and gave an airline ticket home to Reading. But when Debbie and Tobin went to pick him up at the airport, he wasn't there. They found out he hadn't even made it on the plane. What do you think happened to him? I don't know the answer to that. But what I do know is that Scotty loved his family more than anything in this whole world. And something very bad must have happened to him when he was in Vietnam. I swallowed hard. But they're still waiting for him, Tobin and his mom. Yep, they hold out hope that he's okay. They love him very much. I think about that. Do you think he could still come home? I hope so, Lem, Charlie says. For their sake, I truly hope he does. But the sad truth is, we may never know what happened to him. There are still many missing soldiers out there even after the war has ended, and we just don't have any answers. Is that why Tobin is the way he is? How's that? You know, kind of, well, he's particular. Charlie smiles. Well, I think it's how you look at it, kid. I find him particularly special, with the elements of his personality that few people share. He's smart, he's funny, he's full of questions that he needs answered. I think he's a special boy. Oh, I do too. But it'd be nice to know other kids too. Well, yeah, of course it would. I certainly don't see anything wrong with that. Charlie strokes his beard and looks at me. What's this about, Lem? I take a deep breath and I look at the furry pink slippers on my feet, the ones Mama gave me for Christmas last year. Well, I played kick the can today at Nick French's house with some other kids, I say. Uh-huh, Charlie says. I don't see a problem. Well, I guess Tobin doesn't fit in there. Ah, Charlie says. Some even make fun of him, I think. He pauses for a minute while he thinks about what he wants to say. Yes, he's had some struggles with boys and kids his age. The two boys who came into the store the other day, I say, Joe Kelly and Bo Stitch, they give Tobin a pretty hard time, and Joe's the one who invited me to play. I see. At first, I didn't think there was really anything wrong with it. At least that's what I told myself. But when I got home, I lied to Tobin where I'd been. Mm-hmm. I guess just didn't want to hurt his feelings. Yep, I see that. Charlie strokes his beard and thinks hard. Lem, one of the things that's really unique about your mother that she got along with everyone. She always did, no matter who they were. She never judged anyone for being different or treated anyone unkindly because of who they were or what they'd been through. I'm the same way, I say. I mean, I used to be. At home, I've got lots of friends. Erica's my best friend, and there's Melanie and Lisa S. Angela K, Shelley H. I'm listing them all on my fingers. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. You're so much like your mama. Maybe this is an opportunity for you to help Tobin bridge a gap he hasn't figured out how to bridge on his own yet. I think you're the person to do it. So you're thinking I should tell him? I think you should make those decisions on your own. I'm just saying you're so much like your mother that I forget sometimes that you are you. And one thing I know is that she would find a way to bring everyone together. I think about it. Thanks, Charlie, I say. You're welcome, Lem. I hope I helped. I smile. You did, Charlie. You did.